guys, I am so excited to be here. We switched at some point in the summer from doing videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to just doing them on Wednesday evenings. So I ended up getting so super giddy to be here and to help you guys out. So tonight I wanted to chat all about 12 veggie-rich snacks that don't suck. So 12 things that taste really awesome that can absolutely improve your health. So I hope that you'll be excited for this one. I've got my computer screen here, and I'm just gonna make sure that we are up, that everything looks good, and that, awesome, okay, awesome. So I can see it, so that if any questions come up, my phone is a little bit further today, so I should be able to see them over here. Great, okay. So I guess first, one of the really helpful things for you to know is why veggies are actually so awesome for you. So veggies are so great because they contain fiber, they contain a ton of different minerals which help vitamins work in your body. Depending on the ones that you are eating, they can help with energy levels, they can help with prevention of diseases later on, they can help with weight loss certainly, and along the course of coaching people for improving their health, for losing weight, for boosting energy levels, for generally feeling better, for heart disease, for cholesterol issues, for thyroid disorders, for adrenal fatigue, and all of the rest. Through most of that, when I have seen someone's diet diary, so they're charting in what they've been eating every day, and then I go in and look at the end of the day, one of the most frequent recommendations I have is to ask yourself, how can I add more veggies to this? That is a very frequent, so if you're working with, or if you have worked with me, then you're probably smirking as you watch this because you probably got that piece of feedback from me. It is so important for so many different processes to work optimally in your body that you get in enough veggies. So all of that being said, I'm going to start with a couple, I just have two kind of general tips. Besides asking yourself, how can I add veggies to this? So when you're making lunch, or when you're making dinner, or when you're starting breakfast, or whatever, if you can get into the habit of asking yourself, how can I add veggies to this? That will improve your body, health, energy levels drastically. So just by asking that question and finding ways to include veggies, that can be such a big improvement. Tip number 2, before we get into the 12 specific snacks for you, is to use veggies that you love. So I am going to share my favorite veggie-rich snacks, but be experimental with them. Allow yourself to kind of use some of the pieces that you really like. I included 12 so that you can choose kind of the top 5 that sound good to you. There are so many different veggies out there, and I really challenge you to use the ones you like so that you're not scarfing it down in hatred, but so that you're actually enjoying your food. What an idea! That's what you should be doing. So make sure that you are enjoying your food and using the veggies that you find most flavorful, most enjoyable, all of that good stuff. So then the third tip is that sneaky vegetables are my absolute favorites. Or on the flip side, farmer fresh, like if you've gone to a farmer's market and you grab a bunch of veggies, that's like the absolute best case in terms of just you'll enjoy them, you'll have appreciation for them. If you can introduce yourself to a farmer, it's always nice to kind of enjoy their food. So that would be kind of one of my favorite times. The other favorite times is when you can just jam in veggies in a really simple way that you don't even know that you are eating them. That can be a way to kind of outdo your picky eater, your inner picky eater, and that can be a way to actually get them in without noticing, which is great for your health, for your taste buds, all of that great stuff. Now, I also have a blog post called 7 ways to enjoy veggies. So I'm just gonna write a note for myself because we are gonna be sharing all these recipes with you to enjoy veggies. And I will share that with you guys as well in the write-up above this video after I have finished live, so that you can learn really awesome ways of cooking veggies or marinating them in something or doing something creative so that you genuinely enjoy them. So that can help you out, and then otherwise, let's jump into the snacks. So, snack number 1 is cucumbers and tapenade. If you've never had tapenade, you can make it super easily. Just get a bunch of pitted Kalamata olives from your grocery store, throw in about a tablespoon of capers, which you can find in the preserved veggies section of your grocery store, and a couple of other ingredients, things like lemon juice, a little bit of olive oil, and usually some parsley. It ends up making this beautiful salty dip, and if you dip cucumber slices, like the circles of cucumber, into that, you get this like crispy, tangy, crunchy, salty. It's so great. And if you find that your stress levels are very high, it can be a beautiful snack because you are getting in some more natural salt, which is one of the things that your adrenal glands, your stress glands, run off of. So that is snack number 1. And again, I'm going to link out the heck of this video right after I have been live. So I will put snack number 1, what it is, and then the link so that you can go through and find all those. Snack number 2 is to have hummus and carrot sticks. Now usually if I am getting prepared for a busy week, I will peel and chop up the carrots into carrot sticks so that I have enough for the entire week all in one go. So at the beginning of the week, I will chop them all up and put them into different containers, and then I have kind of portioned, not so much for the calorie side, but portions so that you can just grab them and go through your week. So that can be something helpful with a little meal preppy kind of a tip there too. So hummus and carrot sticks is an absolutely awesome snack. But again, if you hate carrots, don't force yourself to get this down. Use cucumbers or red bell peppers or celery sticks, or gosh, even like fold up a kale leaf or something and throw it in. Whatever you like personally, make sure to use that. Snack number 3 is this super awesome, I am so in love with the blender girl. It is absolutely crazy. I make her smoothie. We've been on a kick of making her smoothie every day this week so far. It is so beautiful. She has another smoothie called Tastes Like Ice Cream Kale Smoothie. And it does. It's got a little bit of ginger in it to take off some of the kale. It's got cashews in it that blend up into this super creamy, delicious recipe. So that is one of my 3rd favorite ways to get veggies in a really delicious, unexpected way, which I hoped to broaden your horizons maybe. In a way that's a little bit unexpected and that tastes great and that is super healthy. So that is number 3. Number 4 is any leftovers. When I mentioned kind of asking yourself at dinner, like, how can I add more veggies to this? When you've done that, then you'll ideally have leftovers so that you don't have to cook every night. This is my biggest meal planning tip. And it is crazy to me that people cook as often as they do every single night, and that's great if you love it and if you have time for it, but if you do not, then batch cooking is going to blow your mind. It's going to become your very best friend, and all that fancy term means is that you are, let's say you're making a chili that says serves 4. And instead of doing the 4, you do 8 or 12 servings. So you double or triple it and then freeze most of it and eat what you can through the week, and then you don't have to cook every night. So all of that said, leftovers are absolutely fantastic. You can find Veggie-Rich recipes over at vfood.ca. is awesome. That is all the food that I eat on a very regular basis. Those are our favorite meals here, so you can rest assured that they were all, they're not created in terms of the recipes by me, but they are all consumed all the time by me. So that is absolutely awesome as a resource. Oshi Glows is absolutely fantastic. There are so many great recipe creators out there. So just look for whole food recipes and you will find great success. So that is number 4. Number 5 is kale chips. Now this is a little weird one because kale chips, I recently saw these like potato chips with kale powder in them. That's not what I'm talking about. So Solar Raw is my favorite company that's easy to find here that makes kale chips. What they are is dehydrated kind of chunks of curly kale that have a really awesome either dressing or dip or kind of sauce on them, and then they're dehydrated until they get crunchy. And they are still raw, so they're usually dehydrated below 118 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what keeps enzymes active, which is a little bit beyond the scope, but just so that you know, those are very different things than a fried product that has a little bit of kale powder in it. This is the whole food version. It's absolutely fantastic, and if you can find a good company that's doing really awesome stuff with them, then they will taste totally satiating to any kind of salty craving. You just have to make sure that you're getting a good one. So Solar Raw is my top pick. It's the ones that are in the big bags here that I can find, and I really enjoy them. So I hope that that helps you out. Number 6 is a cashew Caesar dip with veggies. This is kind of my go-to if I'm ever looking for like a Caesar dressing or a ranch dressing. This is kind of my go-to, and it starts with 3/4 of a cup of cashews. You put about a tablespoon of capers again in there. There's olive oil in it. There's water in it. There's a couple of other ingredients. So again, I will tag the recipe above this video. But that is absolutely fantastic. You can do it with any of your favorite veggies. So it can range from carrots to red peppers to celery sticks to anything else that is chopped up and ready to eat. So that is number 6. Number 7 is crackers, hummus, hot sauce, and olives. This is one of my favorite go-tos. Obviously, if you are not a big hot sauce fan, this may not be the one for you, but there are all kinds of varying like smoky sauces instead of hot, or really flavorful, kind of like zug type things, which can get quite hot. That's ZHUG. But can also be really toned down, so it can be any kind of sauce type of a thing. You can even do it with pesto instead. So it's just crackers. My go-tos are Mary's crackers or RW Garcia crackers that make like a sweet potato or a beet version with hummus, any that you can find that is non-GMO or organic. Just making sure that the oils in there are non-GMO is really important. So if it's organic, you're safe, and if it's certified with the non-GMO project, it is safe as well. So that, and then a beautiful hot sauce topped on, and just eating olives to the side. This is a really nice kind of like pick little pieces and kind of eat throughout the time. We do something very similar to this when we take the train out to Ottawa. So when it's a couple of hours, we'll do up these beautiful little boxes, the bento kind, with crackers and hummus, and kind of crackers in one section, hummus in another, usually cherry tomatoes and olives in another, and then either hot sauce or grapes or something else that just kind of goes along with that. So that can be awesome. Number 8 is pizza loaded up with veggies. I have an awesome recipe for pizza on my website. I have a really fast making crust and then a kind of traditional yeasted crust. Both are gluten-free. And then I have a dairy-free awesome cashew cheese that goes on pizza beautifully. And then we usually load this up with red onion slices and peppers and artichokes and olives and garlic slices and a whole bunch of stuff. So that would be a really great option, just loading up your pizza whenever you are having it with veggies that you like. Again, number 9 is the life-affirming nacho dip from Oshi Glows, which I'm a huge fan of. You can make it ahead of time. I like this because if we're ever going to Christopher's parents, then I will often make up a huge batch of it for the afternoon, and I can make it a few days in advance and then just bring it. It is made with cashews and carrots and onions, and it turns into this beautiful cheesy nacho dip. So that is something that's fantastic, that has those sneaky hidden veggies again in it, with corn chips. So that's another great option. Hi Anna, you just popped up. I'm so glad to see you in here. Make sure you ask if you have any questions about your health whatsoever. I'm just going through 12 Well, awesome snacks to increase the veggies in your life. Yes, okay, awesome. Okay, so that was the Life Affirming Nacho Dip. I have the version that I make on my site because it's a little bit different than her traditional recipe. Again, it's a doubled recipe, so it usually makes tons. That way we have some coming home because it's so good that once you have it once, you definitely want to make it again. So if you're going to eat it all at once, or if you're not going to eat it all at once, so if you don't have like 6 or 8 people all going in on it, then I would suggest putting it in kind of 3 separated oven-safe containers so that you can just pop the lids off, throw it in the oven, and heat it up until it's this beautiful dip. So that is that one. That's number 9. Number 10 is my favorite salad, and I know that I said I would make 12 veggie-rich snacks that don't suck, and I was so hesitant to put a salad on here, but this is my fastest, great after a workout, great anytime you're hungry, doesn't take much. All the stuff that it does tends to last in the fridge for a very long time, so you can almost always have the ingredients with the tiniest bit of preparation, which are all things that I absolutely love. So this one is where you take a bunch of arugula, like a handful, and then you just chop it so that it's really, really small pieces. I like that texture best, otherwise it can be like very leafy, and I don't love that. So also getting to know kind of how you can cook or prep your veggies so that you'll like them. Then you throw a bunch of chickpeas on, so I usually use about a half can of soaked organic chickpeas that came out of a can that didn't have a BPA lining. So usually we use Eden Organic. We've recently switched because Costco sold this huge thing of pre-soaked chickpeas, which I was so excited about, so we had to try those recently. Chickpeas, then you put on a bunch of sauerkraut, which is a fermented cabbage. It ends up really salty and tangy. And then I usually slice up about half or a full avocado if we have one, and then drizzle on olive oil. This one just ends up so good, and because you put the sauerkraut on, you don't have to make any kind of a dressing, which speeds up the entire process. So I really like that one for a salad. I've also popped pumpkin seeds, which if you just put them in your toaster oven for like one toast, like you would for toasting bread, then they end up popping. It's a very cute sound, and they end up being this crunchy kind of addition to the salad. So that can be something else that is thrown on this like super veggie rich but really interesting salad that really, really fills you up. So that is number 10. Number 11, in terms of veggie-rich snacks that don't suck, is just throwing a handful of baby spinach into a smoothie. This is kind of my biggest secret from when I first became a nutritionist. I was all about throwing a huge handful of spinach into a smoothie that I was making because you literally don't taste it. So if you've got other good stuff in there, if you've got fruits, then why the heck not just add like a ton of extra nutrients by literally tasting no difference? It's so good. So that is tip number 11 for you guys. Just any smoothie recipe that you're making, just throw in a little handful of baby spinach. And then number 12 for you guys, and just because I see a couple people in here, first of all, feel free to ask your questions below, and also right after this I am going to come back and link all of the recipes I've spoken about above. But if you have any challenges with your health or any questions for right now, then definitely throw them into the comments because I am getting towards the end. Number 12 is a guacamole, or a company here makes a, they're called Mad Mexican as a company, and they make this tomatillo guacamole that's like a mix of those little green tomatoes in the kind of lantern paper shells that they roast up and then throw into guacamole. It ends up super fantastic, and with a fresh pico de gallo or anything that is like a fresh salsa, then you're getting fresh veggies in. I also have a recipe for a fresh salsa that takes like a second to make in the blender. So I will share that above as well. And eating those with corn chips is just like a super easy snack that's super tasty. Even if you're having people over for dinner, you can totally, nobody's gonna know it's healthy. Nobody's even gonna recognize the extra veggies that you just fed them because you're the best host in the world. So all of that stuff is green light, good I'm reading lots of need. Yes, sweet. I love that. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm. I'm just going to do a quick recap of all of the tips and snacks. Thank you so much for being here. You can find all of this and more, any information that you are looking for, over at glownc.ca is my website. So the general tips were to ask yourself at mealtime, how can I add more veggies into this? That gets you into the mentality of focusing on adding more veggies into your life. Super important. Tip number 2 was to use veggies that you love. So don't get stuck in using or trying to kind of scarf down veggies that you really hate. If any of these are not your personal tastes, then don't use them. Use something else in their place. And then 3, my favorite way to use veggies is to make them sneaky, so hidden in something that you'd never know had veggies in it, or go to a farmer's market, engage with the farmers, and then recognize later that it's so special that you have food in front of you, and go for the super fresh food that always tastes best anyway. So super fresh veggies taste great, and then also otherwise sneak them in so that you can still be a picky eater and enjoy vibrant health. 12 veggie-rich snacks is what we spoke about. So cucumbers and tapenade were number 1. Hummus and carrot sticks were number 2. Tastes like ice cream kale smoothie was number 3. 4 were any leftovers that you have that were very veggie-rich. Number 5 was kale chips. Solar Raw is one of my favorite companies for that. Number 6 is cashew, Caesar dip, and veggies, whichever kind of cut up raw veggies you really like. Number 7 was crackers, hummus, hot sauce, and olives is always like a really kind of a fun meal or a snacky kind of thing. Number 8 was a pizza loaded up with tons of veggies. I shared that I have a couple of gluten-free crusts on my site, as well as an awesome cashew cheese for pizza, and pictures of loading it up with veggies and all of that good stuff. I will link that above. Number 9 was the life-affirming nacho dip, which is such a lifesaver. Anytime you are kind of running through and need to make something that everybody's going to enjoy, that is an awesome one to go for. Number 10 is my arugula, chickpea, olive oil, avocado, and sauerkraut salad that gets all mixed together and totally tangy and salty and kind of melty as the chickpeas and just really, really awesome. Number 11 is a handful of baby spinach in a smoothie. And number 12 is the guacamole. I talked about the Mad Mexican tomatillo and guacamole all mixed into one here, and a blender pico de gallo with corn chips. All awesome, fantastic ways to increase the veggies in your life. Anna says, I need that nacho dip. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Well, I will make sure I will head off for tonight, and I will make sure that I link all of that in the description above. So keep your eyes open for that, probably in like 20 minutes or so. Guac, love. Yes, I hear you. I feel you. Okay, so that is all for tonight. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are fantastic, and if you are looking for any kind of an improvement in your health and want somebody who can focus on the bright side to help you achieve it, then feel free to head over to my beautiful home online at glownc.ca. Thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight, and I will see you next Wednesday.